Much as I understand the plight of some of our women who are victims of irresponsible and cruel men, I cannot in conscience and according to my faith support the divorce bill. I do not want to think, Madam Speaker, that our government has become a liberal and secular institution like the Western countries of today. I look at the preamble of our Constitution, Madam Speaker, that says, and I read, "We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God." And also in Section 12 on state policies, Madam Speaker, the state recognizes the sanctity of family life and shall protect and strengthen the family as a basic autonomous social institution. If our people would think that the divorce bill would make it easier for them to be able to break the marriages than the annulment of marriage law, I would not think that to be easy, Madam Speaker. I have told my good friend and kababayan, Congressman Esther Lagman, I have asked him for a while, because we already have laws on legal separation and nullity of marriage and annulment of marriage law. Why do we still need the divorce bill, Madam Speaker? I said that perhaps we could be able to repeal the annulment of marriage law, or perhaps incorporate all of the provisions in the divorce bill in the annulment of marriage law. But of course, he said that he would like to give all the options to our people. Madam Speaker, I cannot go against the majority rule of Congress. But I would like to say this in my speech today, that I hope that this divorce bill that perhaps would become a law someday would not be something that will be taken advantage by some people. We do not want this divorce bill be a tool, Madam Speaker, that some people would take advantage of this. Why? Because in America, you could be able to divorce a person in 5 minutes. The next 10 minutes, Madam Speaker, they will remarry again. What is this? Malaki po itong kalokohan pag yung mga tinatawag nating irresponsableng mga kalalakihan o kababaihan ay gagawing kasangkapan itong divorce bill na ito upang paghiwalayin ang mga mag-asawa. Sana naman wag. I am afraid, Madam Speaker, that one day, once again, Congress, after us, after all of the congressmen here have already been here, Madam Speaker, that the new ones would be able to modify and amend the divorce law, if ever, Madam Speaker, so that like America, like Europe, Madam Speaker, they can just go to any state, for example, and be able to break their own marriage and then remarry again. We do not want that to happen. And may I sound a warning right now, Madam Speaker, one day, we will all regret what this Congress has approved right now. May I again sound the warning, Madam Speaker, that one day we shall regret what this plenary and 19th Congress has approved right now. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I voted no to House Bill number 9349, or this divorce bill, because the measure as proposed is anti-family, anti-children, anti-social, and anti-Christian faith. Anti-family because it is undeniable that while divorce may cater beneficially to separated couples without any chance of reconciliation, A divorce law in the Philippines may be used and abused by many who see it as an easy way out and therefore an easy way to destroy a family. It is antisocial because divorce challenges traditional views on marriage, family, and societal values. Divorce does not guarantee a happy second chance. It is anti-children because by and large, it is the children who ultimately suffer when their welfare cannot be guaranteed. It is anti-Christian faith because marriage is a covenant established by God for those who receive the sacrament of marriage from the Catholic Church. Hence, their bond is sacred. Thank
Madam
you.
Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the approval of the divorce bill begs the question, what is marriage? The Family Code of the Philippines defines marriage as a special contract of a permanent union between man and a woman. On this basis, Madam Speaker, marriage signifies dissolubility and unity. Thus, permanence is not simply a consequence, but it is inherent in the institution of marriage itself, regardless of the will or intention of the individuals concerned. Therefore, without permanence, a supposed union between a man and a woman would lose an essential quality for it to qualify as marriage. This is what we unfortunately approve today, the redefinition of marriage. The enactment of a divorce law in the Philippines reduced the marriage as an institution and subjected it to the whims of the spouses. It is no longer lifelong, permanent, and stable. The cohesion, the strength, the efficiency of the family as a unit of society constitute the key to and the measure of the greatness of a nation. While it is true that no one has to suffer the agony of a cruel and oppressive marriage or the trauma of a discordant home, denying marriage the dignity that it is due and dismantling the institution which is regarded as a foundation of this nation is simply too much of a price to pay. For these reasons, Madam Speaker, this representation votes no to the divorce
Thank
bill.
you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the city of Naga, which forms part of the 3rd District of Camarines Sur, is the virtual seat of Roman Catholicism in the Bicol region. Here, the top hierarchy of the Archdiocese of Cáceres is based, and the annual Peña Francia festivity, arguably the biggest Marian devotion in Asia, is held here every September. The influence of Naga, therefore, extends not only in the 3rd District of Camarines Sur, but also in the other areas of the Bicol region. And this setup, Madam Speaker, has somehow influenced the mindsets of my constituents. In other words, Madam Speaker, my constituents may be viewed as politically mature and progressive, but they tend to be rather conservative when confronted with matters with religious undertones. For instance, Madam Speaker, the issue of divorce, which we already tackled here in the 17th Congress, hardly muster enough support from them. On many occasions, my staff conducted informal surveys in the entire district, and the results showed an overwhelming majority junking divorce. As representative of the people, Madam Speaker, it is my duty to articulate and defend what they want. I am therefore voting no to House Bill 9349.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we in Gabriela Women's Party is one of the staunch advocates of divorce. Way back in 2005, we introduced a bill to legalize divorce. And nearly 2 decades later, the necessity for this legislation remains pressing. Globally, divorce is widely recognized as a legal method to dissolve a marriage. Yet, the Philippines stands alone in not having a divorce law. However, the push for divorce legalization goes beyond international conformity. It is fundamentally about providing abused women a pathway to escape domestic violence and rebuild their lives. It is easy to paint Filipino families as perfect, devoid of any form of conflict and abuse. But in reality, political, economic, and social realities strain marital relationships. Many women face inequalities and violence that undermine the ideals of marriage. According to the 2022 National Demographic and Health Survey, 18% of women with intimate partners have experienced violence, emotional, physical, or sexual, from their current or most recent partners. Alarmingly, nearly 40% of women aged 15 to 49 have encountered controlling behavior from their partners. These statistics highlight the urgent need for legal mechanisms to address and mitigate domestic abuse. The divorce bills aim to restore divorce as a rights-based option, acknowledging that the right to enter into marriage includes the right to exit, an irreparable one. This legislation will not precipitate marital breakups, but will offer an additional remedy alongside legal separation, annulment, and declaration of nullity of marriage. It respects the plurality of religious beliefs and cultural sensibilities in the Philippines, providing various remedies to suit different circumstances and beliefs. Moreover, Philippine law already accommodates divorce for Filipino Muslims under the Code of Muslim Personal Laws. Recognizing the Islamic faith's stance on divorce, non-Muslim Filipinos should be afforded the same legal option to reflect their religious and personal beliefs. Failed and abusive marriages span all socioeconomic classes in the Philippines. The lack of access to legal processes forces many couples, especially from marginalized sectors, to separate without legal recourse. The numerous petitions for marriage nullity since 1988 underscore the widespread need to address failed marriages legally. The socioeconomic conditions in the Philippines, marked by labor exports, stagnant incomes, joblessness, and rising living costs, exacerbate marital issues. Divorce legislation acknowledges these realities, providing legal recognition to existing social conditions without further fragmenting already broken homes. We emphasize that divorce is not inherently a religious issue. The proposed bill respects all religions, ensuring that various remedies for failed marriages are available. Madam Speaker,